Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, everybody. Pray everybody is doing well today. This is my second time visiting with you guys today on YouTube, being out in these YouTube streets. Um, Today's topic, I see y'all already talking about it. Let me see. Thank you. Hey, Shay's Journey, thank you for being here. She said, I'm right. She said, I'm staying right here so I can be on time today. Thank you. Let me be better. Hey, Modest. She said, it's okay to take breaks. That's what I do. Absolutely. Love the thumbnail, by the way. Thank you, Modest. Love the title. This is definitely a hit at home for me. Mata says, it sure is, Shay. We all have been burnt out at one point. Yes, absolutely. You laid down. I'm so late. A whole 2 minutes late. Hey, Triple Deuce Scratcher. How you doing? I am well. So today's topic, as you can see, is about burnout, and basically, what do you do when you feel like you can't do it anymore? And that can apply to so many different areas of life. um, School, relationships, um, let's see, friendships, any type of ship, um, a YouTube ship, being a content creator. Um, it's just a lot of things that can associate, or that you can have a burnout or experience a burnout from. You know, I love Auntie Miriam um, and her definitions, the Merriam-Webster definition. And so I went to look at it to see, because burnout is also like a term that's used in drag racing with cars, or in a NASCAR race, you can pull off real fast with the car and make the wheels turn, and that's considered a burnout. So for Webster, the noun version, let's talk about it from a physical standpoint. Says exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged stress and frustration. Um, so we know that one reason for burnout is stress and frustration. Then she goes on. I really call her she, like she. um Another, it's in the form of a verb, but it's to cause to fail, wear out, or become exhausted, especially from overwork or overuse. Example given in a sentence: teaching can be very stressful, and many teachers eventually suffer burnout. And they talk about like the burnout rate for teachers, but burnout can go to things much deeper than some of the things that I just named. Parenting, you it can happen. You can have a burnout. Being a wife, it can happen. Um, being a friend, being a caregiver, being a pastor, the wife of a pastor. There's so many things that can cause a burnout. Hey, Miss Sheila, thank you for coming in. Hey, CeeLo. Hey, Lady J, thank you so much. Hey, Cooking Enamo, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Yes, if you have not hit the thumbs up button, please go out the chat and come back in and hit it and come on back in. Welcome back to the studio. I love this space. I love it too. Girl. CeeLo says, I'm not burned out. I'm burned up. I can feel you on that one. Aisha, I'm wonderful. You keep going. Of course, you keep going. CeeLo said, I'm burnt up. I can, all I can say is I can relate. I can relate. I can relate. Ooh, I can relate. And the sad part is sometimes we bring about this burnout on ourselves. We take on things that it's just we don't have room for, but because we don't want to let anybody down, we want to and don't get me wrong, there are things in our own private life. Yeah, I'm not that tall. Hold on a second. So I have to pull my chair up. Don't get me wrong, there's some things that we have to do, right? But there are also some things that we can say no to, but because we want to please everybody, we want to be nice and kind, and we want to put everybody before us, we don't necessarily pay attention to our bodies and be okay with just saying, no, I can't. And Sheila said, you can get burned out from anything if you overdo it. Absolutely. She said, used to get burnt out from working too much overtime, or all I could do is just sleep. Yeah. Shay's Journey said, I used to feel that way and all do is give up, but I'm learning to take another route. Yes. Hey, the positive pusher. Yes. Shay, so that's the key with the burnout. I firmly believe that my computer's just gonna do what it wants to do today. Am I stalled? Okay, y'all see me, but I'm not seeing any of your comments. Okay. Shay's Journey says, I used to feel that way and all I do is give up, but I'm learning to take another route. Absolutely. Mata says, I experienced burnout when I was hunting watch hours and I honestly took a break. I have learned that I am no good to anyone when I am burned out. Yes, ma'am. Hi, it ain't what it looked like with Miss Lynn. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Motivate One. Modest Nation, I am the type of mother that isn't afraid to ask for help. There are times when I send my son to his grandparents because I just need a break, and that's okay. It ain't what it looked like with Miss Lynn. I am a new YouTuber, a teacher, minister, grandmother. I agree. Burnout is real. Yes, it is real. So welcome to the YouTube community. I think you're pretty much in with a few new ones yourself. I know I'm new to this. It'll be 3 months for me on the 10th of this month. And it's work. If anybody thinks that being a YouTuber is just a hobby, yeah, no, it's not. So some of the things that when I was thinking about this topic, that I was trying to put into play is, how do we step away from the feeling of being burnt out? How do we handle being burnt out? Because, it's physical. It starts emotionally first, with stress and the worrying of your mind, and then it eventually shows out in or shows up in your body. But the question is, how do we determine what is that moment that we need to go ahead and get ahead of it before it's too late? Since you're handing me that, before it's too late. And the one thing, is to never make impulsive decisions, which is something that I say often, because you have to think things through, evaluate where you are, like what has you so burned out, because sometimes we look at it as the big picture that has us burned out, and it may not even be the big picture. It may be something that's within the big picture. And then if you can't articulate what you're feeling or what the burnout may be, then you may need to talk to somebody to at least help you to articulate. Because before you can ever address the burnout, you have to know what the burnout is and what is the root of the burnout, and what things can be added or taken away to help you. I love what Shay said when she said, sometimes I have to take another route instead of just giving up. Yes, sometimes it will require another route, but sometimes we have to just be still to evaluate the route that we're on and to make sure that we're going in the right direction before we make a U-turn to go back the other way, or a left or right that's going to take us somewhere that we don't know. Hey, Angel, Light Over Darkness 33, how are you doing? Shay's Journey says, I'm realizing I'm only one person, and it's only so much you can take on. Take and do. And it's okay to say no sometimes. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. It's okay to say no. Healthy boundaries are necessary. Hey, Box Van D, how are you? She said, hey, friend, when I get burned out, I take a couple of days for myself and get back in there. That's it. It's hard work. That's it. That's it. The Positive Pusher says, I've been burned out several times. I've learned to now see the sign. Yes, to see the signs early on so I can make adjustments prior to burning out. Most recent sabbatical was partly due to burnout. That's exactly what I was just saying. Shay says, yes. Box Andy said, I don't think you know till it hits you. So that's a good point. Motivate One says, anytime we start feeling overwhelmed, it's time to pause. Yes, absolutely. Modest says, yes, sometimes it's okay to not answer phone calls or answer calls, respond to messages. Just take the time to recharge. It ain't what it looked like. What Miss Lynn says, most times people don't realize burnout until they are deep into it. I wish I could have both of these, like all three of them up, because Box Van D says, I don't think you know till it hits you. Motivate One says, anytime we start feeling overwhelmed, it's time to pause. And then it ain't what it looked like with Ms. Lynn says, most time people don't realize they are burnt out until they are deep in it. I think what Motivate One says is the answer, which goes back to what I was talking about last week about becoming more and more self-aware. Being self-aware is imperative. Knowing you is imperative. Knowing what makes you tick, what makes you smile, what makes you laugh, what gets under your skin. Knowing those things are important. And oftentimes, a person that is burned out isn't doing anything for themselves, They are overworked, overwhelmed, stressed, frustrated, and has lost themselves in whatever it is that they're dedicating majority of their time to. The positive pusher says, I believe that our mind and body sends us signals prior to a burnout. Absolutely. I think we just choose to ignore them and keep going. At least I know I have. Absolutely. And I have. And it wasn't until recently, and I mean like recently, 2020, that I can feel when I'm at a point of, look, I need a minute. The camping trip that we had couldn't have come at a better time. I just would have wished it could have been a little bit longer, because I had literally just told my husband it's time for me to take a step back. And so a step back for me means I have to get out of my house. It's not a stay in my house, stay in the room, and watch TV and they don't bother me. No, I have to get out of the house so I don't hear when Desi has a meltdown or Ivy is having a meltdown and he's fussing and cussing. I don't have to get out of my city. I love my city. Getting out of my city is not the issue, but I do need to be at a place where I can hear myself think. And so I know when it happens. He knows when it's about to happen, but our circumstances, because we are caregivers, we do have to call in somebody. Hi, Cedric, to step in for us while we're out, makes it a little bit difficult. So we can see the signs. Baby, it's like a tea kettle. It's brewing, and you can hear whistling. But sometimes you just can't respond to it immediately. And so then you have to figure out, well, what do I do? Like, how do I get out of that? So for me, Box Vandy says, I can't stay, but I come back after the replay. Oh, thank you so much, Box Vandy. Yes, please drive safe. Motivate One says, it's hard lesson to learn, but once it really smacks you down, that's it. So every time that I've had a break previously, up until this year, up until no, until up until the summer of last year, it's because my body made me. I couldn't go any further if I wanted to. My body would it shut me down. CeeLo says, welcome everyone. Yes, welcome everyone. Please hit the thumbs up button. Shay's Journey says, I always was able to feel it, but now I tend to it instead of ignoring it. Yes. Angela Light Over Darkness 33. Great topic. I use deep breathing and meditation to prevent burnout and low energy. So, Angel, my aunt just told me a couple weeks ago, because I was like, I don't know how to meditate. I started watching Yoga with Mo. She gave some breathing techniques. Keep in mind that I just said this, I don't know if it was Saturday, like I'm going through a phase of unchurching myself, because there were many things that I know that I've been taught regarding meditation and yoga that's against God's will, and you're I don't know what I just did. Those poses are to certain gods, and it's like I don't agree with that. Especially when the Bible tells me to be anxious for nothing, but with everything. What is it? Prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving. So is prayer and supplication not actually thinking? Even the Bible says, think on these things, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is good, like all these positive things. So is that not meditation? In the way my aunt explained it, she was like, if you know how to worry, you know how to meditate, because worry is just the negative part of meditation. And I was just like, hadn't thought about it. But the thing is, if you don't have the words in your vocabulary, and not vocabulary, because the words are in my vocabulary, but if you don't know the words to pull from your vocabulary, the affirmations to say to yourself in the current situation that you're in, you do still have a struggle with meditation. I'm with you. Who said way to go? Motivate one. Exactly. Way to go. Shay's journey. Modest Nation says, I am trying to unchurch myself too, hun. That's a whole nother topic. Cooking eating mode. Aisha still here, sis, while preparing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Angel Light Over Darkness 33 says, I'm spiritual. I want to say I'm spiritual too, but I don't know if it means something different than what I think. I don't know. I refuse to be confined to organized religion. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, Holy Spirit, Triune God. And that's all I got right now. I'm literally on a search, a quest for truth, and not just truth, not what mom and them, dad and them, growing them, granddad them, but genuine truth. She says meditation is quieting your mind and relaxing while listening to high vibrational music. So how does a person with ADHD do that? Or a person whose mind is like that's mind control, self-control, but that's just like unchurching. How do you, what are the steps to take to do that? Angel. She said there are meditation videos on YouTube. Okay. And like I said, yoga with Mo does a lot of breathing techniques. Even I think it was Thursday, Friday, she had yoga with kids. Shay's Journey says it takes a lot of self-control. I agree. And I'm sure a lot of practice, because I just think about how much stuff goes through my mind all day, even in prayer. And I'm supposed to be praying. I can be praying about somebody, and at the same time, my brain is thinking about something else I'm supposed to be doing. Misty is me. I would have no idea. You would have no idea what, Misty. And then motivate one, like I love what you said. Anytime we're starting to feel overwhelmed, it's time to pause. Is there anything we're supposed to do in that time of pausing? Do we use that time to regroup? Do we use that time to set ourselves apart? Go to a quiet area? What do we use that time for? Thank you, Misty. I appreciate it. Oh, she said how to shut my brain off. Yeah. Mine doesn't. I mean, even when I'm sleeping, I know the brain is supposed to work while I sleep, but it still goes. Like it still goes. Step back, breathe, regroup. Step back, breathe, and regroup. I will say that I found out sometimes when you just step back or step away, that it's almost like a painting. You know how, and I don't know if you've ever painted, but you know how you're painting and you're up close and you're painting, and the artist will step back and look at the painting, look at it from different angles, trying to determine if something more needs to be added. I'll use a thumbnail, for example. Even with me and thumbnails, I'll create a thumbnail, I'll walk away from it, I'll come back and look at it, and to this day, there are some thumbnails that I have that I just don't like. Like, I'm gonna go back even from when I first started at the beginning of 3 months and redo them, just because it was like, what was I thinking? But I didn't know what I was doing. I just learned how to do it. Missy said, good idea. Still hard for me. The step back, I've learned. Breathe. I will say, thank God for Apple and any other watch. My watch will tell me to breathe. My heart rate, my watch watches my heart rate, because one time I had to, not one time, but just recently, I had to wear a heart monitor because my heart was doing some stuff. And my tolerance to stress is so high that I was having panic attacks and I didn't know that I was having them. I knew that I was experiencing some because those would make my chest hurt, but they weren't often. But when I'm having a panic attack that makes my chest hurt, my numbers are like high, not 160, but like 181, and I'm still. But if I'm sitting still for 10 minutes and my heart rate stays above 115, my watch will alarm me. And so when I had the heart monitor on, that's when the doctor told me that I was having panic attacks, like several a day. And I'm like, because I would keep the same face, same composure, handle things accordingly. But just like with meditation and anything else, I'd learned to cope. And so by me learning how to cope, what would be something that would knock somebody else off of their feet? For me, I just kick in a gear and go to working. And so my adrenaline may be up and I may feel the exhaustion later, but I don't know that my nerves and all that is doing something else in that moment. Shay's Journey says, I use it to reflect on my life and the things I want to accomplish. Yes. And that's the start. Like where you've been. And I know a lot of people say you don't have to look at your past because your past is behind you. No, you need to remember your past so that, one, you don't make some of the same mistakes that you made in your past, and two, the lessons that you've learned can help you through the future. So don't forget your past. And then I think it's great that you look at the things that you want to accomplish to see what the end goal is going to be and write out the steps on the end goal. And guess what, y'all? It doesn't have to be something so huge. One of the things that I was talking about, we were talking with some friends yesterday, and bright young man, and he just said, I just want to be successful. And I said, okay, well, what does successful look like to you? And he was like, successful. I was like, okay, but what does it look like to you? And he was like, well, I want to finish college, have my family, raise my kids to be productive citizens. And that's successful. It is. It's successful to him. You can ask somebody else that question. They may say, well, I want to have 100,000 sitting over in one account, 100,000 over another account, $1 million in a trust, have me a $200,000 home, a $300,000 car. Right. All this sound crazy, but I'm just throwing it out there. That could be success for somebody else. Success for me is if I can get my closet, which it is, organized, I feel successful. The next step is my drawers. When I get them organized and get some things out of there, I'm going to feel successful. When I get all paperwork that's supposed to be done for all kids for school or homeschool or college or whatever, I'm going to feel successful. So right now, I don't feel successful. I don't feel inadequate either. It just has to be done. But that's what success is for me. Success for me is just peace, hope, still being able to have hope, joy, family, love. That's success to me. But it's not the same thing to everybody. Oh, in feeling stress-free. My husband, yesterday, he said, because, I do motivational Monday, soulful Sunday, something each day. And he said that yesterday was stress-free Sunday for him. He was like, and I'm meaning it, I claim it and all that. And so then he came with today and he said, today is stress-free Monday for me. And I was like, well, the S don't go with the M. He was like, it's stress-free Monday for me. I already claimed it. Angel Light Over Darkness 33 says, you have to let go of control. Angel, I would like to talk more about that, but in not in a negative way, but just wanting to know, I guess, needing you to expound more on what do you mean by letting go of control. Because I'm afraid of the things that my mind would think if I didn't control it. Motivate One says, sometimes you must shut yourself off from whatever or whoever is triggering you. Amen, amen, and amen again. There was a time during that last year where my mom was sick, and I'll never forget it. And she was so mean to me this particular day. And this particular day, my husband left early. He's like, I can't do this. I can't watch her treat you like this. You're here taking care of her, and she just treating you like poop. And so he left, and I was like, I'll be okay. And which I was, and I was like, I'll be okay. It was, rolling out. My skin had become either very absorbent or water resistant. Either way, it wasn't affecting me, so I thought. But this particular day, she just got so beside herself. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to go. So I called my little brother to let him know. And I called my stepdad to let him know. Because technically I didn't want to leave her in the house by herself. But I gotta go. Because if I stay and you keep talking and treating me this way, I'm going to say something that I don't want to say. And then I'm going to feel guilty about. I'm going to be upset with myself about. And then you got to know that I do this out of love for you. So you don't get to treat me like this. So I left, and she didn't think I was going to leave. You're not going to leave me here by myself. I mean, she's screaming from the bed. I'm locking up, mama. I'll talk to you later when your attitude is better, but we're not doing this today. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it today. I don't need you no way. I don't. And baby, that day there, honey. So the next day, got up, went on over there. Hey, mom. Hey, I apologize for how I treated you yesterday. I think that medicine got me. Girl, if you don't stop, it wasn't that medicine. You just was being yourself. You just didn't think that I was going to leave you. But she was making sure I wasn't going to leave that day. So I agree with Motivate One. Sometimes you got to shut yourself off from who is triggering you. And even when I came home, the sad part is be brave about it, because I felt bad the whole time. I really wanted to go back. But I was like, nope. And then the next day she was like, I'm sorry. I think that medicine be having me act like, no, ma'am, this been you your whole life. Cut it out. Jay said, yes, love the smartwatch. And I actually hate the smartwatch. I was so anti-smartwatch. I had a Fitbit and it burned my arm once, so I had to let it go. And I just, all this electronic stuff on us and around us, like that bothers me. I've tried to even stop looking at my phone or television before going to bed and just trying to read a book instead, because I have to disconnect from people. It's like I can feel what other people are feeling. I've been that way my entire life and I don't like it. And it's bad that I said I don't like it, because I've been told that's the gift of discernment. But it's like, okay, once I pray, can it go away? Do I still have to feel it? Is there something else I need to do so I can get rid of the feeling? Because I don't want to just sit here and feel bad about something I can't change or fix. It ain't what it looked like. What Miss Lynn says, coping skills are different for different people. Yeah. And the crazy part is I came up with my own set of coping skills, and I still have them. I don't think they're right, but they've gotten me this far. Hey, real mamas, real problems. Thank you for coming in. I think this may have been your first time in. Welcome. It ain't what it looked like when Miss Lynn says. Also, what stresses some doesn't stress others. And that is true. I think for me, the fact that the numbers or the panic attacks were happening, and I was unaware shows that it does stress me. I just don't show it like everybody else or how it typically I internalize. That's it. I've always been since I was little, I internalize things, and I do it because nobody ever made me feel like what I felt mattered. Actually, I was told plenty of times, did anybody ask you your opinion? None of your business. This is A and B conversation. See your way out. Plenty of times. So no one ever taught me how to effectively communicate what I was feeling. And then a lot of times, things were thrown at me, very hard things to process on my own. And so I just kind of figured out how to process it on my own. Angel Light Over Darkness 33 says, that used to be me until I had a stroke. Then I learned how to let go of what I can't control and doing too much. And that is where I am. I'm asking God to help me with the things that I can't control. I promise you, if I could fix the world, I would. If I could, if I could turn my mind off from thinking about, and this is the crazy part, but just thinking about the kids that are in foster care. I don't even have a child in foster care, never been in foster care. Thinking about the children who are at home with parents and are going to do virtual school, and the parents have intellectual disability, or the grandparents are raising them and they have intellectual disability. Thinking about like all those things, and I pray about them, but it's like if I'm thinking about them, is there something I'm supposed to do about it? And if so, what? How do I know? Um, Hi, Expedition Greg. Thank you for coming in. Thank you so much, Real Mama, Real Mama's Real Problems. Hey, Jamaican Family Clark. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I think this may be your first time too. Welcome, welcome. Ms. Lynn says, I understand with Angel is speaking of, there are some things you do not have control of. So if worrying won't change, no need to stress about. That part I definitely agree with. I know one of my greatest worries was my youngest daughter, like what would happen to her. And it's crazy. It was like, well, what would happen to her if something happens to me? Well, technically it's not crazy because, I've had to go through quite a few things medically. And then when my mom passed, it freed me of that. And it may sound so crazy, but because my mom spent her entire life wondering and worrying about what would happen to my brother in the event that she passed away. My brother lives with me now. He's coping just fine. Actually, he's coping better than any of us. Has been coping better than any of us since day one. Won't even step a foot in my mother's house. He will go to the kitchen and that's it. He's not trying to go chill with my stepdad. If he wants to see him, he has to come here because he's not going in there. It's like he knows she's not there, so he's not going. And that opened my eyes to like, wait, mama spent a lot of time I'm talking worrying, looking for life insurance for him, all type of things, when she was leaving him enough money that will cover him if something happened to him. So it just taught me, wait, you should stop. You don't really run this. God is in control. And if God is in control, then you need to let it go and really let God be in control. The sad part is I can do that with major issues. It's the minor issues that I still hold on to. I don't know if it's like I feel like I don't want to worry God with the little stuff that I can handle or what, but and knowing that I serve a God that wants it all. Shay's Journey says, we can't fix everything. Sometimes it's okay to let someone else handle it. Yeah. Motivate One says, it really boils down to boundaries, girl. And I too am still learning boundaries. Hi, Yummy Food at Home. Thank you so much for coming in. Hey, Cindy Randall, so good to see you. Hey, Joy, thank you for coming in. Aisha, I shut down when I do too much. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you, cooking with Inamo. Shay's journey said, "Oh my God, our thoughts are so similar." Yes, YouTube has definitely taught me that um I don't think, like, for a long time I thought I was the only person that thought like me, and it feels so great to meet like-minded people who actually think like me too. And I think that allows us to all brainstorm together to see what is it that we can do to make even if it's a dent, in change, that when like-minded people come together, that can happen. Um, that bound learning the boundaries, that's, yeah, I'm trying to learn that for me. Um, because again, I will say yes, yes, sure, let me figure it out. It's no problem. Let me try to figure it out. That's me. And I think it goes back to one, consulting God first. And that's for me, because I know everybody don't believe in God. I think it goes back for me, consulting God first, or whomever you consult. I also think the second piece is consulting me. Sometimes we don't talk to us when it's okay to talk to us. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. I got choked up. Um, hey, Six Girl. Um, Lynn says, weight is weight, large or small increments. It can all weigh you down. Yes. Chase Journey says, yes, I have not seen very like-minded individuals, amazing people. Yes, yes. I have met, yes. Hey, Six Girl. Um, okay, that one. Yeah, that's y'all talking amongst yourselves. So yes, boundaries. I'm working on them. I wish I could tell you. Oh, I have boundaries down pat. Like, oh, nope. CeeLo says saying no is hard when you want to help others. Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to see everybody do well. Like, genuinely, no ifs, ands, buts about it. If it's something I can do to help you be better, I'll do it. I'm doing well. How are you, Cindy? Yeah, when I tell you StreamYard is acting like I hadn't paid them, I don't know what this is about. Angel says, okay, guys, going to continue making my rounds. I hope all works out in your favor. Thank you. Based on my situation, please learn to let go and let God handle. As a fixer, we try fixing everything. Yes, ma'am, Miss Angel. I will do my best to let that go. Sticks, girl, why are you crying, laughing and crying? She said, bless you. Do, yeah, one day at a time, huh? One day at a time. Because otherwise you will find yourself overwhelmed, feeling like you're not doing well enough. Exercise is done. Late to the party, but greetings to Aisha Memphis. Watching you live on YouTube from Philadelphia. Out of breath, not good. Um, Out of breath. Steve's if you're out of breath, Derek, does that mean that you did a little more than you usually do today? Pushed your body a little extra than normal? Miss Angel, thank you so much for coming in. I fully appreciate it. I do. And I took the pause on when you said I'm spiritual because I had to think about it. I'm like, well, I think I'm spiritual too. Um, so I was trying to see that it means something other than what I've known. Um, the more we mature, the tolerance to boundaries change. God will change us sometimes and not the situation. Miss Lynn, that honey, you have preached right there. The more we the more we mature, the tolerance to boundaries change. God will change us sometimes and not the situation. Yeah. and and then sometimes it's not even that we need to be changed, it's about others. And I always go back to the three Hebrew boys, and them saying, and that's me paraphrasing it, that our God will save us, but even if he doesn't, he's able. God didn't take them out the fire, God didn't prevent them from going into the fire, God got in the fire with them. And why? It had nothing to do with those three Hebrew boys, so that somebody else could see the God that they serve, and ask the question, who is this God that you serve? So I can serve him too. Shay's Journey said, that's why I try to surround myself around people that I know love me, people that will accept me no matter, I'm sorry, accept my no without getting upset, people that I don't have to worry about if they mad at me because I say no. Yes, I agree. I actually agree with that, Shay. And those type of people will zap your energy just because you're always feeling like you got to live up to something that they want. No, the positive pusher says, so true, Miss Lynn. Cindy Randall says, I went to the park, caught a tan, waded in the water, and enjoyed my day. Good job. And I'm not even just saying it like that. I'm really saying good job, because that's something we all need to learn how to just do. Take some time for us. Still here, sis. Just kind of preoccupied, but I'm here. It's okay. Um, she says, you preach. Who preaching? Shay's Journey. Because that is fact. If I feel like I got to walk on pins and needles around you, you're not gonna find you won't find me there. Yes, it drains your energy. Mm-mm. Cindy Randall says, I'm doing stuff without thinking about it and trying to feel better. So Cindy, I'm kind of on the same um path. I'm trying new things, but I'm also trying to salute to you, Derek. I'm also trying to rekindle my love. And I don't necessarily have to say rekindle because the love for it is still there. Um, but it takes practice, and it takes acknowledging that I left my first love, which is singing. Um, Singing, performing, acting. That's my first love, and I left it. I left it because I became a mom. So then that journey was stupid. And then I left it because I became saved, and it was just stupid. And so now I'm in my 40s, and trying to just figure out life. I thank God I hadn't raised children that are kind of wired and all over the place. Um, but to be 42 in which is not late in life, but just now realizing, wait, you gotta find you. You gave up you to make sure you did this for the kids. You gave up you to make sure you did this for your first marriage, and then you had to get you got married again, and then you had another baby, and I missed my first love so much so that I just stopped listening to music altogether. I would get irritated if music was playing. That didn't make sense. So that meant there's something on the inside of me that I have to deal with. Um, thank you. Thank you so much, Shay. Keep trying and don't give up. Yes, giving up is not an option. Um, different route, yeah. Taking a pause, yes. But even in taking a pause, have somebody that's your accountability partner. Have someone that's going to check you. Um, have someone that, of course, because here's the thing, in the same sentence that you can tell me, hey, you need to tweak this, you need to fix this, you got to do better about this, you need to da 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 da, you should also be able to tell me you do great here, 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 here. That's how you know, first off, if that person is really looking out for you. If everything they tell you is negative and they never point out anything good, that's not your accountability person, and that's not the person that um, wants what's best for you. And I'm gonna stick to that. Um, oh, thank you, Cindy. Stig's Girl says mothers can easily lose themselves. And when I tell you what got me was, it was this year, right before COVID, and somebody asked me, what do I like to do? I was like, sing. But not really, not in front, just no passion towards anything other than the advocating I have been doing for other children. Trying to finish my degree because that's something, a goal that I have for me. But other than that, and so I lost me. Like, in when I find stuff that like, even if I'm watching a movie or something and it brings back a little bit of joy, it's like, oh, I forgot I like that. Like even me with the last 3 weeks in singing, like I forgot about that. I forgot. One of the things that my husband absolutely tells me all the time is, you didn't take life this serious when we got together. And so if Modest is still here, she can attest to this. Modest has a project that she's putting together. And so she asked me to do something. Well, me, no problem. One, because it's Modest. I'm going to do whatever for Modest. But I had the most enjoyable time by myself that I've had in a long time. I forgot how silly I really am. Like I'm really like I'm really silly. Now there is one cousin that I can get with in my silly, just automatically just it comes straight out. Don't have to have anything to drink, don't have to have anything to the nothing. Just regular silly. But because life has been so serious and so hard, it's caused me to be so serious and so hard. And so I forgot that no, I like to be silly. I like to laugh. I like to make other people laugh. And so it's just, yeah. Shay's Journey says, I agree. Cindy Randall says, them nails. Girl, I told y'all that Rona, I'm not going to the nail shop. Impress. They're like $3 and something. No glue needed. I don't mind telling the secrets. Love your spirit. Thank you. Cindy Reynolds says, I'm used to being alone all the time, and I'm very serious as I get older. It ain't what it looked like with Miss Lynn says. We all have skeletons. Most I am not even really. I'm sorry. I think you're probably saying most. I'm not sure how even really got how they got there. Don't waste time worrying how. Start right where you are. You are not even the same person you were. Sing, girl, sing. Oh, most definitely. Um, most definitely. Like for me, the art or there was never anything I guess that prevented me from loving me, especially with like skeletons and things like that. uh, I don't keep no secret because I don't want nobody to go through anything that I've gone through. um but the singing for me, I think it just reminded me of a dream that I had, but I had to delay. Derek says we get so caught up in paying our bills and taking care of family. We wake up one morning and 10 years has passed. We look back and say, what happened, Derek? What you said? And you'd be like, man, I know that I had a little bit more time on my hands than this. Or looking at your kids and they're graduating, and it's like, or looking at other people's kids and it's like, they're doing what? They're graduating already? I just thought they was just in middle school. How are they graduating? So yeah, I fully. Derek says it's very important we keep some type of youthful exuberance while keeping our grown man or woman on. Both can be done. Absolutely. Don't forget all the gray hair too. Gray hair is it's what it is. When it comes to that, I'm a firm believer you can color it if you want to. You can let it grow out if you want to. You can color part of it and leave part of it gray. Whatever, what as they say, whatever floats your boat. Hold on, I need to grab something right quick. Yeah, I'm not that tall. Um, So, you guys know that I told you that when we first started, or for those who don't know, when we first started, my goal was to always do a small business of the week. And the reason why is because small businesses matter. And that's usually paying some child's tuition, dadgummit, some child's therapy, oh somebody's copay. So I try my best to do my part by supporting small businesses. I got off. Shay says, I love my silly side. I love mine too. I forgot how much I loved it until I was silly. And it was like, oh, girl, where you been? Um, Derek says, time keeps on ticking, Joy. Grab life by the horns, else it will grab you. That's fact. Um, Let me type this. So I am happy to get back to the place um, where I can start supporting small businesses again. Not that I stopped because I couldn't, it was just hard finding small businesses to support. One of the qualifications for me is I have to be able to talk about the product. If I can't talk about it, then um, if I hadn't experienced it, I can't talk about it. So I need to be able to talk about it. Um, hey, SF Rose, thank you for coming in. Joy says true. Before you know you're old. Oh my God, Joy. Before you know it, you're gone. You're die. Um, yes. So happy to present our small businesses for this month, and it's going to be authors. What do you think about that? So, the first book that I will be sharing this week is called I Know an Angel, written by Diane C. Givens. Thursday, she will actually be a guest on the show, and she is going to speak with us about the book, what inspired her to write the book, and how we can find the book. Hey, twin! Um, and so that Tony Damien is my twin. Like, we figured that out. But this is the actual book, I Know an Angel, by written by Diane C. Givens. And so this is gonna be the book. I'll show it after every evening live for sure to get us prepared. It is on Amazon. It's a children's book. Great illustrations. And just to give you a little bit about it said, and let me tell you, well, let me read this and then I'll tell you. It says 5-year-old Tori is excited when she finds out about the new baby. She falls in love immediately and cannot wait to become a big sister. Unfortunately, she and her parents experience great sadness when tragedy strikes. Together, they discover their ability to love endlessly and support each other through acceptance and the journey forward after a devastating loss. This book came on yesterday. Yes. I'm 31. No, I'm not 31. Where did I get 31 from? I don't know. Oh, because it was 30. I don't know. I'm 42. I don't know where I get 31 from. Oh, because my brother turned 31. And it's been 31 years since I lost my brother. I'm like, where did that 31 come out? It's been 31 years since I lost my little brother. And which is his twin, and my brother turned 31 this year. This book, and it's a children's book, but it helped me. So we're going to bring her on Thursday, and we're going to talk about this book and what motivated and inspired her to write this book. And I'll let you know going forward what the other books will be, but we're going to do one book a week by one author for the month of August. And I'm excited. So I put the link in the chat. If anyone wanted to come up, do any of you guys, and we did get a few, have any suggestions on how to address burnout? I love what Motivate One stated when she said learning to recognize the signs as you're getting closer to it, and that way you can kind of put a halt to it before it actually happens. I love what Mata said about just taking a break, taking some time away. I think it was also Motivate One that says step back, breathe, and start again. Derek, you go ahead. I thank you for sharing me out. We're about to get off here shortly. Do y'all remember in the beginning that this is how the lives actually started? Like, I would do 1 hour and we'd be done and go on about our business. I'm not saying it, it's bad that we go longer than an hour, but yeah, this is how it was in the beginning. Regroup, yes. And I do think that's necessary. I wish Angel was still here because I have so many questions for her. And not in a bad way, just so many questions of wanting to understand. Because I definitely know how to let go of the things that I can't control. But how do I stop being so hard on myself for the things that I can control? but I'm having a hard time prioritizing what's most important or what's best. And so I get exhausted from that and burned out and just I ain't filling out nobody's paperwork. I'm not even writing my name on nothing. I don't care. Get the paper away from me. Then next day, y'all seen that paper that I was looking for that had truth, authenticity, right? Um so that those are the questions that I would have loved to ask her about. Yeah. Philly girl, are you still here, love? Philly girl, fly girl. Oh, she wasn't in. I'm so used to her being here. So I will write this on my community wall, but fly girl, fly girl, fly girl, Philly girl. Shay's Journey said that's my biggest issue. Yeah. Um, yeah. If I had like a real life assistant, just for 30, no, for 90 days, it would take about 90 days because I got about, I mean, that's not bad, 40 some years worth of stuff in 90 days. But for about 90 days, if I had a real deal assistant that could help me and teach me, so not necessarily, maybe a life coach. Um, Crystal G, CeeLo, do insurance companies pay for life coaches? That could guide me in the areas that I lack. I think I would just be there's no limit to what I can be or what I could do. But until then, I'm gonna give myself some grace. I'm not gonna be hard on myself. But Philly girl yesterday talked about struggling with understanding the Bible. And I told her that I would be willing to do a Bible study with her if she like. And I truly don't mind. I'm not a Bible scholar. Um, I don't pretend to be. Um, hey, okay. Um, let's talk. Motivate One says, I'll give you a discounted rate. Let's talk. Let's talk. Tony Damien says, OMG, when I was working on watch hours, I was doing 5 and 6 hour lives, then trying to support everyone working on their watch hours. I got monetized and stepped away. And so, Tony, so today, I even had to have a comment. She said, just kidding. I'm not a for real life coach. By title, that is. That's okay. That's okay. Titles, this is an anti-label platform anyway. We don't label nothing. If you can help me get to where I need to go, then hey, that's what we're trying to do. I had to give myself some grace today, Tony. When I realized, so of course, YouTube, you have to have 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. And it hit me that I'm at 1,200 watch hours. I hadn't done any what do you call it, like playlist exchanges or asked anyone to watch my playlist. I just go live. But I'm at 1,200 hours and I'll hit 3 months on the 10th. And so I had to think about it. I was like, well, I'm technically not doing bad. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people, again, that started with me and are monetized, has had a monetization party and everything. But they worked. They were grinding all night and all morning. And I can't, like, from the hours that one show is going on that I want to support because I absolutely love her. I'm getting my baby ready for therapy. So I just have to go and roll with the flow. That is one of the reasons you see me at least once every day. But like this week, it's probably going to be twice every day except for Thursday. But yeah, we shall see. Thank you, Motivate One. I appreciate it. Cindy Randall says, I love your show. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Miss Lynn says, I eliminate stress by seeking God's word. When you seek his word, healing will come. Miss Lynn, what I can tell you is again, it's just like the 3 Hebrew boys. Sometimes God can get you out the fire, and sometimes He leaves you in the fire, so that others, so that He can be glorified and for others. And I know for a fact when it comes to the Bible, there were some times that I've gone through and did like 7-day devotionals, three of them in one day. In addition to something else, when it comes to scripture, I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound everywhere in all three things. I'm instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4:12-13. Isaiah 26:3. Thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee because he trusts in thee. That's a scripture that I hold on to forever. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. 2 Timothy 1:7. Or 1 Timothy 1:7. God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. Numbers 23 and 19, or is it 19 and 23? God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. If God said it, shall he not do it? If God spoke it, shall he not make it good? Several times, or David says, Lord, why have you forsaken me? Just thinking about a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. That's Proverbs, I want to say 27:6. I know the word. Like, I know the word. And so sometimes we have to look at it like, is it God taking us through so somebody else can see him? Or are we not on the right path? Are we not listening correctly? And the truth is, I've done all of that to myself. I've beat myself up. And I had to learn that God is not a God that condemns. Satan is the condemner. Jesus said, I did not come to condemn the world, but I came that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. And so the negative condemning and judging thoughts, that's not God. Because that's not who he is. That's not how he acts. That's not his character. So even learning his character, I can't lie, that has helped me. His word, yes. Prayer, yes. But that doesn't change that we are spiritual beings having a natural experience. It doesn't change. Just even let's look at Job. When God asked the devil, I see you've been searching, seeking who you can devour. Have you tried my faithful servant, Job? And the devil did everything he could to break him, but kill him, because God said he couldn't. And that man went through a lot. And we often celebrate this story because we say, oh, God gave him back double for his trouble. But did that take away the pain and the hurt from everything that he lost in the beginning? No. There's not any amount of children you can have to replace a child that you've had. So there was still some hurt there that had to be dealt with. And I just think that we have to, as people who have brains and minds and feelings and nerves, like the scientific pieces of our nerves remember traumatic experiences that our brain doesn't even remember. That's just how complex the body is. Cindy, I'm just so happy that you got out today. I am. And Miss Lynn, please know that I wasn't trying to in any way be disrespectful or even belittle the comment, because I agree with the comment. I just know that sometimes that's just not enough. And so we put it out there like it's enough, but sometimes it's just not enough. Um, Amazing. Live a beautiful life. I have to go for now. My niece is hungry. Blessing, love. See you later. See you later for sure, Shay. Modest, did you hear me? I was telling them that I could be silly. Like, I don't think people really think I can be silly, but silly is me. And I was just saying you, how that just in the last couple of weeks, singing has come back, and even your project has, it encouraged me to go to my silly side, and I just forgot how silly I can be, because I'm always so serious. Everything that's in front of me is so serious that it has to be dealt with, that you kind of lose your funny side. And so, yeah. But I'm working on it. I'm working on these watch hours. Y'all will see me again in the morning for Thankful Tuesday. And then you'll see me again tomorrow evening for part 2 of our August Alcina documentary. We are going to finish that out, which it may cover all 5 documentaries in just that part 2. Then Wisdom Wednesday, for sure that morning, that evening. No, I give that time to my husband. And then Thursday, that's when we'll have the author, Mrs. Diane Givens, and she's going to talk to us about her book, I Know an Angel. And she'll tell us a little bit more about the other books that she has. And hopefully by the end of the week, I can let you guys know about Bible study, Bible, I don't know what we're going to call it, seeking, I don't know. I'm not sure about it, but I can tell you for sure what day that we will do that. But I want to be very clear that it's not a thing where I'm teaching. This is a thing where we're going to read, we're going to talk about our perspective, what we've gathered, what we've gained. But it's not me pushing out any particular doctrine. It's me telling a sister that I will walk hand in hand with her if she wants, and she accepted it. And so I'm now opening up to everybody. But with that being said, listen, life is too short. Having lost my mom at the age of 40 and she was 57 made me realize just how short life can be. Burnout is real. Take some time for you. Don't feel guilty about it. If you schedule some time for you, you'll find that it gets a little bit easier and a little harder for burnouts to happen. Have someone that will hold you accountable, that will tell you the areas that you're lacking or slacking in, but will also boost you in the areas that you're doing great and successful in. And lastly, give yourself some grace. We're not perfect. Um, there are some people that expect you to be perfect because they think they're perfect. But you don't have to move to their standards. If you are around somebody that zaps your energy, that make you feel like you are not wanted there, make you feel like you're walking on grass, not grass, glass, make you feel all antsy, then create healthy boundaries. And it's okay. You can do that. Hi, Rachel's Place. Cinderella said, I'm praying for a laptop, cell phone, and air conditioners tomorrow. Okay. Um, Thank you so much to everybody that came in. Thank you to all of my mods for helping and supporting me. Thank you for all to all of you that gave great dialogue. Um, and those of you that shared me out, I appreciate you. I look forward to having more conversations with you as time goes on. And um, if there's nothing else, I'm sending lots of peace, love, joy, and blessings your way. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.